The 830th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN for a $25 deposit bonus.
Howdy-ho, Degenerinos. Welcome to episode 830 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to our friend Rusty Tenakun in YouTube, who says we are literally the best, which is true. No lies there at all. Thank you, Rusty. Thank you all for coming to the show. I am one of your hosts, Supremo Simplicio, Jeff Fox. Along with me is Daniel Gummer-Vreeland, and we are completing our first round coverage of Road to UFC Shanghai, episode 4. So the later event on the Friday. Yesterday we did the first half of the Friday event, and then days before were the Thursdays, and then tomorrow will be LFA, and then you'll be all set. Only a few more sleeps until main event. Macy is coming at you, so we'll be talking about that soon enough. Gumby cannot wait. So lines have dropped since we last recorded for the Road to UFC, so we will have lines for you today. I'm going to ask my co-host right now if the first 3 events we covered, any surprises with the lines that have dropped?
Some with just how big of favorites they were. I think we talked about Aguilale as it being like a fun 20-year-old, and I was like, he's probably good parlay material as long as he doesn't get too high. He's negative 900 right now.
That's pretty high.
I'm pretty surprised by that. And let me see. Let me do a quick scan down. There was one or two. Oh, Shele, who we had fun saying his name repeatedly. I kind of was surprised he was as big of an underdog as he was. I think I said plus 155, but he's been as high as plus 180 since the lines have opened. And I thought he'd get bet down, but it seems to be the opposite. His money seems to be coming in on his opponent. So both of those kind of shocking. But apart from that, like kind of the favorites were the favorites, and the dogs were the dogs, and the close ones were the close ones. So
yep. Well, they're the type of surprises you want. Dogs bigger than you expected. So obviously people have not been listening to the episode yet and are watching it, so they haven't.
They've moved actually from when they opened. Oh, yeah. There was. I wish I could remember which one it was. There was one I had, and I was like, oh, he should be like a plus 130 dog, and he's a good value. And then I saw he posted it like plus 145, and now he's a favorite. So I'm trying to remember which one that was. Somebody even commented in one of our videos. So shout out to people thinking we move lines.
Yes, exactly. And some the lines that we're going to be talking about today, some of those have changed drastically since I marked them down. I think yesterday is when they dropped. So I guess it wouldn't take too much to move these lines. I'm sure there's not a heck of a lot of money going in on it. Just us true degens that are following the Road to UFC. So, and we will break down the lines for you very shortly after I remind you of you today. But merch store. We are running a sale. So sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, 20% off promo if you use the code DEGENS, DEGENS. So once again, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, DEGENS at checkout, 20% off. We got awesome new DEGENS hats and a line of clothing in there. And of course, there's tons of MMA Gambling Podcast swag in there. So check it out. All right, Road to UFC 4, as I've been telling you every episode, it is taking place in Shanghai, China at the UFC Performance Institute, Shanghai. This is, as I mentioned, the later in the morning Friday one. So it's this coming Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. We got 5 fights. We've got the completion of the bantamweight and the lightweight tournament, and the completion of last year's featherweight tournament. Sounds odd, but it's true. Thoughts at all on this card without getting too specific on the actual fighters, Gumby?
A couple of sneaky lines I really like, and one fighter who I think is being tested pretty well in this fight, but is pretty exciting and may or may not be on this week's Top Turtle MMA podcast.
Oh, so, nice.
Look for that.
More on that soon. You stick around to the end and you can find out who we're talking about. All right. We're kicking things off with a bantamweight tournament fight. Rui Imura from Japan. Then how do you say his last name? Nghiem?
Nghiem.
Nghiem? Okay.
That's definitely not it.
No, Nghiem. Or is it like Win, where you don't say the G?
Oh,
the G.
Maybe.
Is it Heim?
It's Heim? Yeah, Van Wyheim. Van Wyheim. I'm going to go with that. I like that.
Van Wyheim. He is from Vietnam. that's what his name is now, regardless. So 3 5-minute rounds, 135. Let's break it down. What do we say? Why Heim? It's 5-1. The guy spelled Nghiem is who I'm talking about. Make it easier. He's 5-1 with 3 knockouts. He's been submitted 1 time. Nah, he doesn't owe us rounds. He's had a couple go to the completion, so that's fine. Debut in the Road to UFC would be this coming Friday for him. He's won 2 straight, both via TKO. He's got multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our gear, get our merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Remember the code DEGENS at checkout. Save some money. Used to fight at 145. You've heard the lines because you mentioned it, right?
Yeah.
In the lines. Okay. Plus 168 for him. Imura, 12-4, 1 knockout, 8 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted once. This is his debut as well. He's won 3 of 4 and 6 of 8. Submission win in his last bout. 2 inches of height, 1 inch reach over Heim, minus 198.
I'm going to take a swing on an underdog out the gate. And it's one that it's a calculated risk here. So if you watch Rui Imura fight, kind of the low hands, he likes to do this wade in, where fighters try to close the distance and they stance switch on the way in.
Yep.
They go right foot ahead, left foot ahead. And that's their way of basically blitzing, but without sprinting at their opponent. Imura does a lot of that, and he lands a lot of good right hands in the process. But I think the only reason he does that is because, it's his way of playing defense without blocking his face. And so he lands, but he's not great at defense. And then the other weird thing about Imura for me too is he's so damn good at grappling. He's maybe not takedowns, but his jiu-jitsu is really sick. His back takes, really good positioning. But it doesn't seem like he wants to go there. He wants to keep doing this waiting in, striking, and land that way. And on one hand, hey, maybe that works for him a lot in the past. But he's going to be up against a much better striker here in Heim. Heim throws absolute bombs. His combinations are tight. He's explosive. I think the reason why I'm saying this is a calculated risk instead of just ultimately saying all in on Heim here as an underdog is that I just don't know what Heim's takedown defense looks like. And if Imura does go to that, he should win. I think Imura is the better grappler and could give Heim a lot of trouble. I just think he's going to be stupid and strike long enough with Heim. And if he does that, Heim is the better striker. Heim is the more powerful striker. And Imura kind of leaves himself open. Like I said, his defense is waiting in, changing stances, but it's not really protecting his face. And when you fight a guy with good striking like Heim, I think that's going to be too much problems for him. So I'll take Heim.
I'm not talking to my phone. I'm listening how to say his last name properly.
Yeah. What did we get?
I'm on YouTube and I haven't. Let me hear. This guy's making the video way too long. Say the name, dude. You know,
I think we just go Heim.
It doesn't matter. We're done. You know what? One of the first things it comes up when you type, how do you pronounce in there? Mayonnaise.
Okay.
How is that hard?
Perfect.
That's hard. Mayonnaise is hard to say. For real.
Worcestershire. This is good MMA content.
Well, that's what people come here for. All right, so you're going with the dog. That's actually what people really come for.
That's what people want. Yeah.
All right, we are going to 155 now. That would be lightweight, and we got Sang Ok Kim from South Korea. So Gumby's gonna pick him. Daichi Kamiya from Japan. I guess just gave away your pick.
You might have.
Kamiya 6-0 with 1 no contest, 3 submissions. He's been submitted. He won his last bout via submission. 6 years younger than Kim, plus 100. Kim is Frogman. Fantastic.
Frogman.
Love it. 11-3, 4 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's never been finished in a fight. 1-1 in the road to UFC. He's won 2 straight and 5 of 6. He's fed at 170, 4 inches height, 3 inches reach over Kamiya, plus 105. So you can get both of them depending on the if you shop around your books. Yeah. So both of them are dogs, but Kim's a bigger dog, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Kim too here. And
Frogman, yes.
Here's the difference for me. So both of these guys, in that last fight, we got guys who mostly want to strike. Mostly want to strike. These are guys who mostly want to grapple. If you watch Kamiya, he's really into the single leg takedowns. And he'll do the thing where he tries to run the pipe and turn his shoulders, but almost gives up his back sometimes. In fact, if you go back and you watch his last fight, he went for so many singles and lost some scrambling positions, and ultimately he's better at jiu-jitsu than the guy he was fighting, and then wound up flipping the positions or getting up and getting a different takedown. And well, not a different takedown because they're all singles with him for some reason. Will give him a lot of trouble and force him to strike or make him the guy who's on his back. And I think Sang Ok Kim has that. if you go back and you watch this film, which by the way, one of the hardest parts about preparing for this podcast is like, since we bastardize all of their names when we bring them to English, there's different pronunciations, and it's I'm trying to remember what Sang-uk Kim was, but it's different somewhere else. It has four letters in the UK one instead, and it's difficult to find his fights if you don't know to look for the other one. So if you're out there and you're a film watcher like me, just know that Sang Kim, his middle name varies. So but with that being said, Sang-uk Kim, I like his grappling better than Kamiya because, first of all, it's diverse. Instead of just going single leg, he uses a double leg. He uses a body lock trip. He will go to the single leg if he needs to. And I really like his double leg. And the main reason I like his double leg is he sets it up well. He's a guy who I think more so than Kamiya is a guy who sets up his takedowns. You see him throw push kicks up the middle, basically back his opponent up to the cage so that he can use his double leg there. He's also a guy who regularly throws his overhand right. And sometimes he'll even just throw it right past his opponent and go with like a single leg trip there. And then like sometimes he throws the overhand right to go into the double leg. So like he's got what he needs in order to get to his takedowns. And I think that's a difference between him and Kamiya. And, between that and the diversity of the takedowns, I like Sang-uk Kim quite a bit more. So I believe that's the last Korean we have on Road to the UFC. And I think we are officially 4 for 4. Shout out Hunger Man Zhang.
Yes. Assuming they all win, we're gonna have South Korean versus South Koreans next time this comes around too. So then you're gonna be picking South Koreans all the way through.
Do we have?
Or are they all in different weight classes?
They might wind up only in the finals or something like that.
Yeah,
in a lot of these instances. Yeah.
All right. Before we dive into more, actually not more South Koreans, other Asian fighters, let me tell you about Edge Boost. Edge Boost is his first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cashback rewards, and 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with our promo code SGPN and deposit $25, and Edge Boost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And it is time for Gumby's bonus underdog. Pick 'em play. Underdog is going long for the NBA playoffs with their extender bonus. Hop in game 1, and the longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. Do you have any plays for us, Gumby, on the hardwood or elsewhere?
I'm going to stick to the baseball field, the baseball diamond, if you will. I'm going to take the higher than on AJ Smith-Shawver's strikeouts on Friday. He was supposed to throw on Thursday, but they got rained out. And he has been mowing people down the last 2 games, 13 strikeouts in 11.2 innings. And he's, playing the Nationals, who actually that's who he struck out 6 times last time. So give me the higher than on AJ Smith-Shawver's strikeouts.
What do you think it'll be set at?
I bet you 6.5, if I had to guess, is what they'll project it. And higher? I think he's going, here's a bold prediction. I think he's getting 8.
Wow. I have him on my fantasy team, so I accept that bold prediction. All right, so take Gumby's pick higher on the strikeouts and take the code I'm going to give you, MMASGPN, and that way you get to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. So underdogfantasy.com, promo code MMASGPN. Right, back to Shanghai we go. We are going back to bantamweights now. Let me see. Qinghe Zhang. How do you say first name? It's
I think it's Qinghe Zhang.
Yeah. Qinghe Zhang versus Lawrence Liu, and he is from Australia.
Louis.
I'm sorry. Yes, Louis, Lui. Of course, I get the Australian name wrong. Let's break her down by telling you about Zhang.
He's originally from, I believe he was born in Hong Kong, if that helps.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's my excuse. Zhang will tell you about first. 16-7-1, 9 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted twice. This is his debut. I think it's short notice because Louis was supposed to fight someone different before. So.
I can give you a little insight on that.
Okay.
Both of these fighters are actually on short notice. So Lawrence Louis was booked as an alternate for the tournament. He was told 9 weeks before the fight that he was scheduled to be an alternate. About 5 weeks before the fight, he was told the fighter had dropped off and he was in. So he had 5 weeks to prepare. And about 3 weeks into preparing, he found out his new opponent had dropped out. So both of these guys are technically some level of short notice. Zhang, slightly more short notice than Louis.
I wonder why Gumby knows all that.
Yeah, Lawrence Louis was on the Top Turtle MMA podcast this week.
He gave it away. All right, we'll listen to that shortly. All right, Zhang is won 2 straight, and he's got 6-1-1 over his last 8. 2 straight wins have come via TKO. He's fed at 125 and 145. 4 years younger than Louis, plus 160. Louis is 5-1 with 3 knockouts. He's never been finished. This is his debut. He's won 2 straight. He has not lost since May 2022. He's a regional champ. He's got 5 inches of reach over Zhang, minus 204, and he knows who Gamble is. So that's something on the resume too.
And I'm going Lawrence Louis. I liked it a little bit better when he was minus 155 on posting. But, the bottom line is I think you're going to see a big contrast in striking style. So Zhang is a guy who throws big, but without much technique and without much, without much approach. He gets close to you, he's going to let a haymaker fly. He's got a little bit of jiu-jitsu, a little bit of wrestling, but I don't think it's enough to bother Louis, who he's a city kickboxing guy, which
there
is,
you go.
Kind of all you need to know, right? Like those guys come in with pretty damn good takedown defense, even when they're big strikers. And he has kind of got like an Israel Adesanya level, like I'm so far away from you, yet I can still hit you. And it's not like he's got great reach. It's that he's like got great close the distance and hit you and then not be there again. And I like that about him. Like it's clear the Eugene Behrman of it all has played out on Lawrence Louis. So like that distance alone should probably negate anything Zhang wants to do in the grappling department. And then in terms of the striking, like I see Zhang just like winding up on these punches and seeing like a crafty defensive guy like Louis just being out of range and hard for him to hit, and then probably tagging him on the return. The only caveat I will give to this, especially with Zhang being like such a big, heavy thrower, is that Louis does, like, I think he's gotten so used to being the guy who has the better range and is out of range that like his chin is kind of high up in the air for my liking. It's like a little bit scary. Like if he were to win this fight and fight Van Nghiem, or however we're saying his last name, if he were to like fight him in the next round, which I think they're queued up to fight in the next round, I would worry a lot about his chin. Like I really think Nghiem would be the worst kind of opponent for him to fight because he's faster and can close the distance and has big punches. Like Zhang here, I think is just like doesn't quite have the level of technique that makes me fear for Louis' defense. And plus, I just love his range. So giving Lawrence Louis here, and negative 200 is still pretty respectable.
All right. Getting on that to play. Now we're to our co-main event. It is the final opening round fight at in the lightweight tournament. We got some fun names in this one. Yuji, Yannick, Ephoeviga. Gumby doesn't even know either.
Ephoeviga.
He's fighting another 3-named fighter, Dom Mar Fan. And he is from, is he Australian or New Zealand?
Yeah.
We're doing that game again.
I think it's Australia.
He's Australian too, yeah. All right, let's break her down with these gentlemen by telling you about Fan first. He's Street Buddha. There you go. We got the chef versus Street Buddha. Fantastic.
He's been a lightning round pick in the past. Don Marfamis. Yeah, because
really?
I remember talking about Street Buddha.
Yes, I thought I did too.
And he came through for us on the lightning round too.
Fantastic. Well, there you go. We'll see if he's a pick here or not. He is 6-2. 1 knockout, 3 submissions. He's been submitted twice. This is his debut. He's won 2 straight, both via finish. He's 2 inches taller than Ephoeviga, or the chef, plus 400. The chef is 11-0, 6 knockouts, 3 submissions. This is his debut as well. Regional champion, used to fight at 170, minus 600. Yikes.
What are we getting Damar Fam at? Because that's where we're playing this one.
Plus 400. Gumby,
plus
big
400.
dog.
Love it. I can't tell you how much I love the fact that he came in here as a wild dog. And the reason being is that, like, you said he's 6-2, right?
Yeah.
Did you happen to catch the 2 losses?
No. Well, I did, but I don't remember.
So he's lost by submission twice. The first one was to Killian Saul killed.
Yeah.
Obviously that's
I
HUL.
remember that now, yeah.
And the second one is to Killian Saul killed.
Yes. Okay.
And so, like, and if you watch the second fight with Killian Saul killed, he won the first round and badly outgrappled Killian Saul killed. And, like, we've seen what Saul Killed can do in the UFC, right? You're not going to find a guy much higher on Saul Killed or his teammate Cody Hadon than I am. But Damar Pham went in there and took him down and beat him up for the better part of the first round. Now, Saul Killed did come back in the second round, make his adjustments, and wind up winning the fight. But, like, the guy took down UFC level talent and beat him up for a round. And that just shows the wrestling he has. And if you watch Ephoeviga, like, he's a guy who throws his hands. He's very explosive. He knocked out Emmanuel Sanchez as part of Sanchez's like 32 fight losing streak or whatever he went on there. But like his level of competition over there in Japan has mostly just been guys who will throw with him and have like 19-17 records. And like, I'm not hating on those like, fighters in Ryzen or whatever promotion he was fighting for over there that have fought like 7 billion times, but he's just not seen a guy like Donmar Pham who is going to shoot consistent takedowns and comes from the wrestling level that he does. Like he's out wrestled UFC guys for at least a round. And like for me, when we see a big power puncher like that, who's never seen, a good wrestler or somebody who's going to lay on him and beat him up with elbows, and I can take a stab on that wrestler at plus 400. Yeah, I'm taking a stab on that wrestler at plus 400 9 times out of 9.
How's Street Buddha going to beat him? Grind him out for a decision, or
just absolute grind? And you know what, too? I have no basis for saying this, so like maybe this is a wild claim. I think Ephoeviga is going to be the type of guy who, if somebody shoots a takedown on him and turns this into a grind, I think he's going to tire and the power in his hands isn't going to be there. And like I've seen, he's got a lot of first round finishes. I've seen him get third round finishes too, but it's a lot of third round finishes when like the guy is just like point fighted him for 2 rounds and then he lets one go.
Right.
I've never seen him really, seriously challenged in the wrestling. And I think that even just grinding him up against the cage will just wear him down to where that power punching and that movement just isn't there anymore. I think Donmar Pham is a tremendous value here.
There you go, people. Plus 400 for you. All right, before we get to the main event, and tell you about Rhythm, RITHMM. Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props. Dominate the NBA playoffs, PGA, MLB, and just launched the WNBA. Rhythm knows you'll love it. That's why they include a 7-day free trial. Check out whose prop lines are we talking about now, Gumby?
I thought we were talking about Dante DiVincenzo.
Donovan DiVincenzo, yes.
No, not Donovan. Dante.
Oh, Dante DiVincenzo's prop lines. Check out the projections at Rhythm. Rhythm also has some amazing deals going on right now. 25% off monthly subscription with promo code SGPN25 and 50% off an annual subscription with promo code SGPN50. So that's RITHMM, promo codes SGPN25 or SGPN50. And to get your 7-day free trial, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM. And listen to this. Circa's Ultimate Fantasy Football Giveaway. Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for their stay. Listen to all the stuff you win if you're the lucky person. The winner will receive a 2-night stay at Circa Resort and Casino for their entire 12-person league. That's 6 Double King rooms. Plus, they get to hold the draft at a cabana at Stadium Swim with a $5,000 food and beverage credit. Limo transportation to and from the airport. A welcome party at Legacy Club for the league. A reservation of the world's largest sportsbook with $500 beverage credit for the league. A 2-hour open bar package for the league at Overhang Bar. Contest is on now until the end of June 30th. To enter, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. And last but not least, we are brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs. For the true degens, the MyBookie money bag. MyBookie accepts customers for a ton of locations, easy deposit, and lightning fast payouts using crypto. You can get all your MMA lines there, as well as DiVincenzo prop bets. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code MMA SGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMA SGPN. All right. Our final bout is from last year. They're doing it now. The championship for the featherweight tournament. I assume one of these guys got hurt.
I think it was Kangjie Zhu had to pull out, and there wasn't a replacement. It was kind of late, and they were like, we'll just do it later. And later became much later.
A couple Chinese fighters. Gumby said Kangjie Zhu up against Bin Ji, or Bing Zhai, I guess would be, right?
I think it's Bin Ji.
I was right the first time. Binji. 5 5-minute rounds. So listen to this. This is for each. No, 3 5-minute rounds plus overtime is what it is, actually.
Correct.
Yeah. If they need it, they will go to overtime if there's a draw. All right. Jai or G. What did we say it was again?
I said G, but you keep saying Jai. So you do you. You do you.
G, Jai, potato. He is the stalker, and he's up against the hypnotist. The stalker is 13-4, 4 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been submitted once. So very durable guy. 2-1 on the road to UFC. He's won 5 straight. Before that, he lost 2 straight. TKO win in his last bout. He's not lost since June of 2022. He went 0-1 in the Contender Series. Who did he lose to? Do we know, Gumby?
Oh, I can tell you the fight card he was on.
You can tell me that, but you can't tell me who he lost.
I'm pretty sure he was on the fight card when I was at the World Series in Atlanta in 2021. That's the most I can tell you.
2022, June 2022 is when he
fought. So I'm wrong about that.
No, I'm sorry. No, that's Road to. I think you may be right. October 2021. You are right.
There it is.
Olivier
Murad. I was almost gonna guess him. He's the one from Aruba, right?
Aruba, Jamaica. Come on. Yeah, maybe. He never made the UFC though, right?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. All right, so he lost there. He went 8-2 in one championship, which is way bigger than Contender Series, biggest promotion in the world. He used to fight at 135, 155, 2 inches height, 2 inches of reach, 2 years younger than Zhu. More active landing strikes. He had a positive strike differential. This includes his Road 2 fights and his Contender Series fight of 1.69, 69, nice strikes per minute, plus 117. The Hypnotist. 20-4 with 1 no contest, 12 knockouts. He's been submitted once. He as well is very durable. 2-0 road to UFC. He's won 4 straight fights. He's not lost since April 2023. 1-0, 1 championship, the biggest promotion in the history of the world. He used to fight at 155. 1-0 in custom rules fighting. I mean, what do you think the custom rules are for this one? Yeah, it was cut off jeans last time we talked. Any idea what custom rules would have been?
I know. Steel-toed boots.
Steel-toed boots. Perfect. That sounds more Russian than Chinese, but maybe. Russia likes the sadistic, crazy MMA rules. Better striking stats, better grappling stats than the Stalker. And he has outstruck his opponents on the road to UFC by 2.47 strikes per minute. He's up minus 150.
Yeah, I like this line on Kangjie Zhu. I'm going to pick him in this one. A couple of things about him. Some good, some bad. Maybe my biggest problem is he's got really long strikes and he doesn't seem to retreat after throwing them. He really puts his whole self into them, but they're straight strikes and then he's just kind of there to be hit. But the difference for me is Big Shay does not have the defense that I think he would need in order to even stop those straight strikes. In fact, he fought Kawana in his last fight and got rocked with a strike like that. And then after that, Kawana jumped on him and tried to finish. And I think he had back mount for a while. And there was just no get up from Bing Shay. And on the other hand, I haven't seen Kangjie Zhu, different Zhu. I haven't seen Kangjie Zhu offensively wrestle all that much, but the way he defensively wrestles give me some thought that he might be even able to wrestle up Bing Shay, or at the very least, if he stuns him, not let him up. Because he fought Shin Harauchi in this tournament, who you remember we were high on Shin Harauchi. And Shin kept trying to take him down and kept getting in on single legs, and he got him down a couple of times, but the amount of times Zhu stuffed him or just used his balance to kind of thwart that single leg just shows me that he's got a wrestling base that maybe we should pay attention to. And Big Shay, the exact opposite. He's been ragdolled in a lot of his fights in terms of his wrestling, including on Contender Series. So, Kangjie Zhu, I kind of almost want to see him offensively wrestle in this one. But even if he doesn't, I think that rear right hand is just going to step in real long, pop Big Shay on the chin one time, and I think it's going to be good enough. So give me Kangjie Zhu here as a slight fade.
He's going to knock him out, is what you're saying? He's going to pop him one time in the chin?
I think either that, or if he stuns him, he's going to follow it up and do damage on the ground and at least put Bing Shay down enough that he's no coming back.
All right. Let's give you a recap. He's got Zhu. He has got Fan. He has got Louis. He has got Kim. He has got Nghiem. We'll say it is. All right. If you have to buy stock in one of these people based on their UFC future, who are you buying stock in?
I think I like Lawrence Louis, and not just because I interviewed him, but he's got the range, he's got the right gym to be working at. I think there's a really high ceiling on him, so I like him. And I'll also just say I know he's an underdog too, but Van Not Nghiem, or however we're saying his name, we should look it up.
I tried.
I think the power he generates is really impressive, and if he has any takedown defense, because again, I haven't seen him really defend takedowns, but if he's got takedown defense, I think he's going to be dangerous and possibly a front runner in this bantamweight tournament.
Oh, nice. Very good. All right. You can watch all this and chat with it. Actually, you have to watch it on your own, but you can chat with us about it Thursday morning and Friday morning in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. We are also, of course, on YouTube. You maybe watch us right now. Hello, if you are. If you're not subscribed, actually, is what I'm going to say. If you're not subscribed, please do. It helps us out greatly, and you can hit us up in the comments. Of course, on the Twitter, Gumby runs our account at SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Reela, and I'm at Jeff Fox Writer. Same as on Instagram for me. Check out my Substack at moneymma.substack.com. Check out Gumby's other podcast, Top Turtle MMA. It was a mystery as to who he was going to have on up to this episode. Now we know one of the people at least.
Yeah, we got Lawrence Louis, and we've also got Kurt Hollabaugh, who's fighting next weekend in the UFC.
Nice. All right, so check out Top Turtle MMA wherever you get your finest MMA podcast, even bad MMA podcasts. You can find it there as well. Of course, we're at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Remember your code DEGENS, 20% off. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. You get some bonus content. And when you sign up for underdogfantasy.com and mybookie.ag, remember our code MMASGPN. That way we both win, us and you. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Street Buddha, Jeff Fox, the Stalker, Gumby Rhythm. We'll talk to you tomorrow about LFA.